Hey everybody, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Heather. We are a fun, fabulous sewing channel where I am always me, including all of the things that I say all the time and my outbursts of laughter. And I encourage all of you to be you. All right, so we are in the dead of summer, right? It's hot, it's warm. It's hot in my studio, but I am on back to school brain, and I'm on back to school brain because I want to drop a launch on the website for August 1st. Now I know that back to school is different depending on the schools or the areas that you're in, and I want to make sure that I have it dropped in plenty of time so that it can get to you before your school or your child's school starts. Now, I have a lot of ideas. Let me tell you what we're doing today, and then I'm going to go through some of my ideas, and then we can kind of go from there. So today we're doing pencil pouches, and we're sort of going through 3 different options for pencil pouches. So we've got one made out of waterproof canvas, and we're just quilting. So this is with batting too, just this big sort of quilt in the center, and then we're doing some with vinyl. Okay, so like classy, I guess is what we're going with. We have a couple of different vinyls picked out too, and then the third style that we're doing of pencil pouches is this designer inspired quilting on our upcycled jeans, which you guys might be my new favorite thing to do. I'm obsessed with it. So fun. Like, what? I love this quilt. It's just so cool. So, all right, so those are the 3 like sort of different variations on the pencil pouches that we're making. We're making 9 altogether today, including these 3, so 6 more. I'm gonna walk you through how to make one in full if you wanna do this. Also, in the description box of this video, so if you like click under here somewhere, I linked a pattern piece to the pencil pouches. It's 10 inches by 5 inches. That's what I'm using, like rectangles, 10 inches by 5 inches. If you don't want to measure that yourself, you can just click on the link. It'll take you to the pattern piece that's 10 inches by 5 inches and print it out. It is totally free. I want you guys to be able to make these too. I hate measuring every time. Like, I prefer to have a pattern piece, so I included one for you in the description box of this video. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna make this one, but in a different print from start to finish, and then we'll sort of batch sew the others, and then I'm gonna show you how to do the designer inspired quilting on the jean as well, so that you'll have sort of that if you want to grab some old jeans and do this version of the pencil pouch yourself. All right, so that's what we're doing today. Let me go through, so I have all these like grand ideas, and I'm gonna run out of time 100% for sure. Like, no question. All right, so we've got pencil pouches, which are definitely happening because we're doing them right now. We also definitely have happening bookmarks. Look at how cute, you guys. Tassels will probably be different on all of them, but we're gonna be debuting some bookmarks in this launch as well. And those are definitely happening because these are already done. I made a little short on them a couple of days ago. AirPod cases, and those are definitely also happening because they're already cut out. So those are happening. We're also definitely doing lanyards. So those are like our definites for sure. Now, I have, like I said, these grand ideas about these other things that I want to do. I'm going to read them off, and what I'm hoping you guys can do for me is in the comment section of this video, let me know like what else I should add to that for sure. You need to make this for back to school list. Okay, so what else do we have? Kindle sleeves. I'm reading. What I'm calling teacher totes. But actually I'm thinking I'll batch, so Tuesday totes from Knotted Thread. as teacher totes maybe. So that's on my list. the pencil cases that attach to notebooks, lip gloss holders. What else do I have? Clip-on pouches. You guys know I love those clip-on pouches. I have a style that I'm working on that would be brand new, and so it would be like a drop, a debut drop. Emergency kits. So I've been seeing these a lot on like the back to school Pinterest boards where you have just like a little bag inside of your backpack, your bigger bag, that's full of things that you might need throughout the day. So, you know, Tic Tacs, aspirins, Band-Aids, other lip glosses, mascara, wipes, stuff like that. So I'm thinking about maybe those. And then I have this, I want to make tiny totes, and not like tiny totes, but like I'm calling them tiny totes, but really they'd be like a purse style tote bag. And I thought that would be really cool for back to school too, because I mean, obviously you can't use it for your back to school bag, but it's just fun because totes remind me of school. I don't know if that's just me. Let's see, what else do I got here? What else? Lunch bags, which I think I'm gonna have to myself cross off the list because I am definitely not gonna have time to do that. Maybe some more book sleeves. So yeah, so those are the things that I'm thinking. If there was anything in there that you're like, I really want to know how to make that, I really want to see that, definitely drop it in the comments for me so that it will help me decide, because I've got to narrow it down. I have to start cutting out materials for everything else. Like I said, all I have is bookmarks. I have keychains also. Bookmarks, keychains, lanyards, pencil cases, and AirPod cases, and those are the definites, but I really want to add more than that, and so let me know out of those things that I said what you think would be good. All right, let's head on over to the machine and we will finish up our pencil pouches together and go over how to quilt a few different ways so that you can get this look yourself. All right, you guys, so we're at the machine, which is a Juki TL 2010Q. We are using Tex 35 weight thread in white from Wizardry Stitchery, and we'll use that all the way up until we get to the jean material, and then we will switch to this Desert Sands, which is a Tex 45, and this is from Waywack. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and you know what, that's okay, because that's just how I say it. We're using our tank foot. The numbers on the side are KT 141 if you're looking for one for yourself. I will not link this below because the shop that I bought it from doesn't carry it anymore, and I don't know about all the other ones that are out there, so you guys can do your due diligence, check it out for yourselves. And we're using a Microtex 9014 needle. All right, so we've got, like I said, some already sort of ready to be batch sewn. So this is a vinyl one. This looks like we quilted it, but it's actually a quilted vinyl. This came from Your Vinyl Source. I will not link all the different materials below because it's a ton. I will link some things, so like I said, definitely check out that description box, but this is from Your Vinyl Source. This, I really don't remember where it came from, but it is so pretty. It's like a cotton candy quilted vinyl. This is from Itchin' to Get Stitchin', I believe, and this is also a vinyl. And then I believe this is from Itchin' to Get Stitchin' as well. Again, a vinyl material. So they all have sort of different interiors. These are ready to go. So I'm just going to set those to the side for the time being. And then we've got the one we're going to put together, and we have our material for our jean, and that will stay off to the side for now as well. We will do that and the designer inspired quilting together after we finish the rest of these pouches. So I went ahead and I have quilted one of these already. This is from Your Vinyl Source as well, you guys. This is a waterproof canvas. It is so cute. I have put that sort of X quilt mark in this panel. So, and this is our interior panels here. We just need to go ahead and put that X quilt mark in this one. And it is so easy to do. We're just going to take our OmniGrid ruler. I will try to find this and link this one below. I use this all the time. You probably see me use it all the time. And we're gonna take our air erasing marker and we're just gonna go ahead and draw a line from one corner to the other. And once we've done that, we're gonna do exactly the same thing for the other corner. And that will give us the X line that we're looking for and make it so that we can just sew right over that. Easy peasy. It's not the most difficult quilt, and so if you've never quilted anything before, it's a good way to get started. We're using extra loft batting. I will link that below. I think I have that linked somewhere else already, but I will definitely link the batting. And I like this because it's super fluffy. I don't know, I like when things are fluffy. All right, we're just gonna follow those lines, and I'm gonna have to change out my bobbin at some point. I just checked it. It was like almost out, but not really. I wanted to use everything that we could from it, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. Okay, so we just went ahead right down that line, and we'll sew down this one now too. It's super easy, but it does give it a little bit, I think it gives it some interest. These are obviously super beginner friendly. You're just creating a pouch, just like a different size. I always backstitch, whether I'm quilting or sewing or whichever. And now we're just gonna come in and just take off our extra batting. And I think we're gonna go with a black zipper. We're using all number 3 zippers today. I was thinking maybe gray, but I have the black one out. Oh, I guess we can go gray. So I just ordered my number 3 zipper tape by the roll on Amazon. That will be linked also. So we're just gonna cut off a piece larger than what we need. And we're sewing, we're not doing zip tabs or anything like that. We're just sewing right in to the seams. So again, pretty simple if you're looking to sew this. We're gonna take our zip tape, we're gonna turn it right side down. We're gonna clip. And then we'll take one of our lining pieces and we're gonna take the right side of our lining and we're gonna place that together with the right side of our exterior. And that's how you make a zip sandwich. Okay, and then we'll stitch together. And I just go right along the zipper with the edge of my tank foot. It's about a 1/4 inch. And like I said, this is nice and fluffy, so we just gotta sort of, as we move our way down, make sure that it stays where we want it, that everything is pulled away, and we're gonna top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. There we go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add our second panel. Right sides together. Just line up your sides here and your top. And then you're going to take your other interior panel and you're going to place that right sides together with your first interior panel, and just making sure everything is lining up appropriately. And we'll stitch that on and top stitch just like we just did. All right, see how easy peasy? Now we're gonna stick one of our name tags on here. I had these printed on Etsy, and I will find the shop name somewhere. Now these are pretty similar. I feel like one is not better than the other, so we'll just pick a side. And I like to put our tags down on the right hand side and sort of off centered. I'm terrible at centering things, and I find that if I put them in the center, they're always a little bit off, but if I put them down here, nobody notices if they're off or not. So, little trick if you're also bad at centering things. So we're just gonna move our lining out of the way so that we're only stitching our bag tag onto our exterior. And we'll go right ahead. And sew this on with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And this is just kind of like, it's like a cloth tag that we're sewing on, so it's nothing wild. It's not like one of our expensive cork tags or anything like that. I tend to use these when we're doing like big bulk sews of smaller items. There we go. All stitched on. All right, we now want to thread our zipper pull on. Make sure you do this at this step. And the number 3 zips are small, so they can be pretty difficult to thread on. Like, for sure. For sure. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our exteriors. We're gonna match them up here. Okay, so make sure that they align. And then we'll go ahead and clip. And same thing over here. We're just checking that they match each other. And we'll clip along the bottom. And then here, we want our zip tape to be sort of in that lining there, okay? Like I said, we are sewing right through that, and so we just want to keep a watch that we have everything kind of lined up exactly how we need it to be. So your zip tape is in the lining. That's how it's meant to be, you guys. All right. We're going to leave a hole in the bottom of the lining to turn our bag. And we're just going to go ahead and sew all the way around. Like I said, we're kind of playing roulette here, as we usually do with our bobbin. So I'm a little worried we might run out. If we don't run out, we will change it before we batch sew so that we don't run the risk. But we're going to go for it and see what happens. I'm sewing at about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, a little wider on the interior, but not by much. I'm just taking our time as we go over the zip just to make sure everything catches, stays where we want it. You can see our fluff is fluffy. They do make other lofts in batting, and so if you don't like your stuff extra fluffy, you can get a lower loft. This is literally the highest loft that exists. And we're just going to take our time here again as we sort of move through this zipper section. It's not metal or anything, but it helps to have patience when you're going over something like that. Okay, and then we're just going to come right back up about as much as we did on the other side. Do some good back stitching. You just want to check, make sure you caught everything caught perfectly. We're going to come in here and we're going to take off this excess zip. Okay. And then we're going to trim our corners also. So on all 4 sides, that will help us get a nice finished corner. We're going to hit our zip tape, because it's not finished, with some heat, and that will stop that zip tape from fraying over time. And then we're going to go ahead and reach in, and you can see our zip here. We're just going to open that. Grab a corner and start to pull it through our turn hole. Should not be difficult. Just go ahead and punch out those corners. And you can still see our air erasing marker, but I promise it does go away. These pouches are just so fast to make that the air has not erased them yet. Okay, we're going to punch everything out. See how cute, you guys? Same thing here, just like come in and push out the corners for your lining. And you're just going to stick your finger in that opening and it's going to fold in on itself, okay? And you can clip this together if you want, or if it's not folding in appropriately, or how you like it, but we're just going to sort of, we're going to sew as we go. I just like to go a little past where it's stitched. And then we're going to push that lining in. And there we go, you guys. Pencil pouch done. So cute, right? And so easy. All right, so what we're gonna do now, like I said, we're gonna leave our designer jean until the end. Right now, we're just gonna batch sew the rest of these. So this is just stitching the exteriors and interiors together and then sewing up our turn hole. We already have all of our zips on. So really, I think kind of the hard part is over. Now we can move on to the much easier part. We'll get these all stitched up and then we will quilt our denim. So our batch sewing is complete. So now I'm going to show you how to quilt the designer inspired quilting on the upcycled denim. So basically what we're doing is creating lines straight down that are an inch apart, and then we're going to come in and we're going to do 45-degree angle lines all the way across, but just in one direction. I'm obsessed with this quilt. It is my new favorite way to quilt things. So I'm going to show you how we do that. And this will be our last pencil pouch. Save the best for last. All right, so again, we're grabbing our air erasing marker that we used earlier and the same ruler. And like I said, our first set of lines is just an inch straight up and down. I am making these pretty thick because it's going to be a minute before the lines when I say these. It's going to be a minute before we get to quilt these since we're drawing 2 sets of lines. So I promise though it disappears. It's funny because I didn't quilt at all for a really long time, and now I'm slightly obsessed with it. So if you are like me and you went years of sewing without quilting anything, I'm gonna tell you, quilt and use this design because it's so stinking cute. I get like emails from excuse me, designer bags, and I get them because I want to see what's trending and see if there's anything I like, anything I can dupe, you know, anything like that. And as soon as I saw this quilted pattern, I was like, oh yeah, that's it, that's what we're doing. That's it, you guys. All right, and then on our ruler there are several lines. So there's a 60, a 45, and a 30, and we're going at a 45-degree angle. So we're just gonna line up our 45 straight across the bottom of our material and make our first line. And that's the only one you need that 45 set up for. Okay, so once you have your first line, you just keep going an inch in both directions off of that line. So I'm gonna do that. I'll show you here. See, like that? So I'm going to keep going in both directions and then we'll quilt. All right, so all of our lines are drawn. I like to start in the center on one of the long lines. Actually, you know what, guys? I don't know if it matters or not, to be totally honest. I just typically start either on the longest line or in the center and sort of go from there. And again, back stitching beginning and end, just like we did on our really simple quilt earlier in this video. I'm going to go ahead and sort of speed up the quilting process for you so that you can see it, but don't have to be here for the whole bit that it takes me. So real time, the quilting process took me about 4 minutes, and so it's not super long. It's not like crazy long or anything like that. It's just Yeah, it's so worth it though. Like, even if it took longer than that, like if we decide we're gonna make some bigger bags with this, which I think we probably will at some point, then, you know, it would be worth it for however long that takes also, because it is such a cute result. Like I said, it is designer inspired. I did get this, I keep getting it sent to me from a designer website, and it's just such a cool quilt. So we're just going to go ahead and finish putting together our last pouch, just like we put together the other pouches, and then we'll take a look at all of them together. All right, you guys, we are all done. So we just finished the last part of what we were doing, quilting our second pencil pouch with that designer quilt, and we used variegated thread. I showed it to you earlier in the video. I love variegated thread, and I had no idea I would like it as much as I do, but when you're quilting and it has like the different variations of color, it is so awesome. So we've got 2 of our jean designer inspired bags. We've got 2 of the waterproof canvas with that X quilt. So we've got this leopard, and then we've got this gingham. We have 2 of our tan vinyl, camel vinyl. We've got 1 of our cotton candy. We have 1 of our pretty flowers and mint stripes. And then we've got 1 of our clueless style. This teal is one of my favorites. I've used it before, you guys. If you watched my one of my previous videos, I made a bag with white and teal, and this is the same. So it has that white inside and the teal. Yeah, so that's what we're working with here. We made 9. The last time we launched, I made 7 of everything, and I guess 9 is our number right now. So I don't know why I can't manage to make something even. I'm like that person in the car where if the radio is set to an uneven number, I set it to an even number. So the fact that I keep sewing uneven numbers of things, I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. Like, I don't know if I'm here. I don't know if I'm here for it, but I also need to move on. I cannot make 1 more of these. We have to move on to our next back to school item, and the next one that will drop on long form video, you guys, is AirPod cases, and I will have a pattern piece for you for those also. So definitely stick around for that. I'm excited about them. I don't use AirPods or earbuds or anything like that, but obviously my kids have them, and going back to school, having a place to put them that's going to keep them safe is going to be really necessary. So they're perfect for our back to school launch. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me here today while we did pencil pouches. I hope that you enjoyed what we did. Remember to grab the pattern piece if you want to from the description box below. We'll be back very soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon.